welcome to episode 38 of the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. My name is Kay, and this is my podcast all about knitting and yarn, occasionally some crocheting. Today is February 6th. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, so a lot later than I would normally record in the day. I usually try to record in the mornings, but this week has just been a bit crazy, so I thought that today, it's Wednesday today, I thought this would be a good day to record. And maybe I can edit and get it uploaded tomorrow. But we'll talk more about life happenings at the end of the episode. I saved that for the end in case some of you aren't interested in listening to that. So I want to say a huge thank you and welcome back to any returning viewers, and a huge welcome to any new viewers. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. If you like it, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. That just helps you get notified when there's a new episode if you subscribe, and the thumbs up just helps the video get out there in recommended areas on YouTube. So we've got a bit of administrative stuff to go through today. Not a lot, just some prizes to announce. But first, I wanted to mention the elephant in the room. I'm sure if you've been watching for a while, and if you have not seen on Instagram, you're wondering where my hair went. If you're new to the podcast, if maybe this is your very first time watching, you've stumbled across it, my hair was about down to almost to my waist. It was very, very long. It's now 10 inches shorter. 10 inches. That's a lot. I typically braid my hair a lot, and I guess you don't realize quite how long it gets when it's always in a braid. But yes, 10 inches off. I had that done this morning, and it feels amazing. I feel couple inches taller maybe. I don't have all that weighing me down, and maybe like 5 pounds lighter. I'm sure I've lost 5 pounds. Not really, but it feels that way. It feels just so light and healthy. My hair looked great before I loved my long hair. I feel like it was very healthy, but it was very heavy. It wouldn't hold any kind of curl. I don't typically curl my hair that often anyways. I don't like to do all the heat and stuff with it to damage it, but if I would try to curl it, it would not hold curl. It was just, I couldn't wear it up in a ponytail or a bun because it was so heavy, it would give me a headache. So this is nice and it feels great. So I am really pleased with how it came out, with how she cut it. I did get the collar updated, covered up some grays because, yeah, there's grays, lots of them. So we got those bad boys covered up and I'm so happy with it. So I thought today, you know, this week's been a bit crazy. Today I had some time to record and my hair looks good. So perfect timing to record an episode. And I did have some people message me on Instagram when I posted that I got it cut off in the Insta stories and ask if I had donated my hair. And I did not. I would have absolutely 100% done that, but my hair has been colored because I cover up grays, guys, and they will not take colored hair. So that unfortunately was not an option, but I'm sure I probably had enough. I don't know what the cutoff is because they wouldn't accept my hair because it's colored anyways. So I'm not sure what the cutoff is, if 10 inches is long enough, but I absolutely would have if it would have been accepted. But all right, now we can get into the knitting stuff. So first up, I should say that you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and we do have a podcast group on Ravelry. If you go to the groups tab and search Crazy Sock Lady Podcast, it'll pop right up there. That's where any giveaways, knit-alongs, there's a howdy y'all thread if you want to introduce yourself, anything like that. Head over and check out the Ravelry group and join us if you have not already. So first up, I want to mention our Swapple Swaps. I always try to mention that at the top of the episode so that I do not forget. I don't have any, well, I have the blanket I'm working on, but that won't really show the back. I don't have any over here with me today. They're in a cubby. But the Swapple Swaps, if you're not familiar with those, Lisa from Happy Scrappy Life hosts that in the group. And you get a bag of minis. There is a set dyer. The one that's open right now, the dyer is Show Me Yarn. For some reason I was thinking it was Show Me Your Yarn. It's Show Me Yarn. Show Me Yarn. And what you'll get with that is half of the mini skeins will be self-striping, half will be variegated. So head over in the Ravelry group. There's a thread that has all information, details as far as pricing, exactly what you'll get, anything like that. It's listed in there. If you have any questions, just feel free to send me a message. So we have a couple prizes. We had a few knit-alongs in. One was the Crazy Happy Crochet Along, and I co-hosted that with Lisa of Happy Scrappy Life, who does the Swapple Swaps. And let's see, we had 2 prizes here that I was going to give away for this crochet along. And for this, there was no finished objects thread. There was just a chatter thread. So you could chat in there, post about what you're working on, post your finished things if you did, which a lot of you did. And I loved seeing your scrappy graining crochet blankets, the stuffies that you did, the hats. There were some little crocheted like baby shoes. They were so cute. I loved it. So this was just from the chatter thread, no FO thread. The first one is a skein of yarn from Lay Family Yarn on Etsy. And it's the S'mores sock set. So you get a mini skein and a full skein. And the winner of this, there were 285 posts in that chatter thread. The winner of this one is post 167, and that is Kelly Jo Girl. And that's Kelly from Michigan. So congratulations, Kelly. And for all winners of the prizes I'm giving away today, if you will just send me a message on Ravelry if you prefer, and send me your full name and your mailing address, I will get this out to you as soon as I hear from you guys. So that's prize number 1. Prize number 2 is from Lavender Mountain Yarns. And this was actually, guys, this has been in the last year's Sock Crazy Cow. This was a prize twice, and it has not been claimed. So we're going to try it for a crochet along and see if it gets claimed because it's gorgeous. It's in her goldenrod colorway. I'm not going to take it out because everything is packaged so pretty in here. But it is a fingering weight yarn, Lavender Mountain Yarns. The winner of this is post 156, and that's Marsha TF, and it's Marsha from Alabama, so congratulations, Marsha. Next, we had the Cable Cow. Sorry for the crinkling. Everything is so nicely packaged, so I'm leaving it all in there. And for this one, we have 2 more prizes from Lavender Mountain Yarns. And the first one, total there was 170 entries in the FO thread. And I co-hosted this knit along with the sweet Amy from Noble Character Crafts podcast. She also has an Etsy shop as well. So for the FO thread, we had 170 posts. And the first prize from Lavender Mountain Yarns, it is a singles yarn in a dark green. They don't have colorways because they were one of a kind, but this is a gorgeous dark green. Love this green. The winner of this one is post 84, and I'll put the name, the Ravelry name right down here because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But the winner is Deborah from North Carolina, so congratulations, Deborah. And the next prize is another singles yarn from Lavender Mountain Yarns. And I love the colors in this one. Greens and purples and pinks and orange, all colors. So this one is post number 96, and that's Stitchin' Steph, and she's from Missouri, so congratulations. And again, if all of the winners will please just send me your full name and your mailing address, I will get these out to you. All right, so that is it for prizes that we had to give away. Now, let's see. Sorry for the reaching. I've got a tote here that I am keeping finished objects in that maybe need to be shown or are being set aside for gifts. So everything is in here. I've got my dishcloths that I'm working on for this year, all of that. So I want to pull out of here and show you because I talked about these last time. Whoa, the lighting today, guys. The lighting. I'm getting totally blown out, aren't I? All right. The Rhinebeck is Calling fingerless mitts. I showed these last time. Don't think the pattern was out just yet as of last podcast, but guess what? It's out now. You can get it. So these are the Rhinebeck is Calling fingerless mitts. And this is a pattern that I have out on Ravelry, and I'll make sure to put a link in the show notes if you are interested. So it has been tested. It's up now, available for purchase. If you have the Rhinebeck is Calling socks, this is kind of like its cousin. I don't know. The patterning is basically the same, just did it to fit on a fingerless glove I love the construction of the thumb. There's no stitches to go back and pick up. You're just finishing the thumb off, and it kind of leaves your thumb free. Because sometimes, you know, your thumb might end up being too tight, or I don't know. I just love the no thumb. I know everyone has their own preference, but this is definitely my preference when it comes to fingerless gloves. So these are out now. And I did want to mention, in the Ravelry group, I have opened up a thread, a chatter thread and a finished objects thread for items that you knit or crochet if you do any of the little crocheted cup cozies that I have a pattern out for. Any knit or crochet items done from my patterns. There's a chatter and an FO thread. We're going to do just a year-long knit along. If you've done them from January 1st until now, you finished anything, go ahead and enter it. And whips will be allowed. So yeah, I just thought that would be fun since I've got a couple of patterns out now. I definitely don't have like a ton of them out, but I have so many in the works as well that I would love to get out soon. So I thought that would be kind of fun to do a knit along throughout the year for Crazy Sock Lady designs. So be sure to head over and check that out. All right, so I wanted to mention that that pattern was out. And we also have the Selfish Cow. That's anything that you knit for yourself. That ends March 31st. So you still have the rest of this month and next month to get your items done for yourself. And then the Sock Crazy Cow for 2018. No baby socks are allowed. That's really the only rule with this one. Any other socks that you make throughout the year, head over and get those entered. We'll do the first drawing around the first podcast of April. All right, I think that's it for administrative stuff. This is kind of an impromptu episode today, so I hope that everything flows well and it doesn't seem too crazy today. We'll see. All right, now we're going to jump into finished objects. First, just happened to think, Betty Sue back here, whatever I decided her name was, I can never remember. She has on my All About That Brioche shawl, and I will make sure to put that below and in the show notes. I always forget to mention. And as soon as I forget to mention, somebody asks what she's wearing. So she is wearing the All About That Brioche shawl, and it is done out of Lolo Did It yarns. Blue suede shoes, I believe. And Fame. I could be totally wrong. But I do have a projects page for it if you're interested. I kind of wanted it to be mountaineer-ish colors since we are from West Virginia. But I threw that on her before I started recording because she wasn't wearing anything, you know, and she needed to be wearing something. So that's what she's wearing today. And I loved doing that shawl. It was so much fun. That may have been the very first finished object with brioche that I did. And it was a super easy to follow pattern. I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, I have a projects page if you're interested in any of the details on that. And finished objects and works in progress all have project pages on Ravelry if you have any questions. After you've looked at that, if something is not listed, just feel free to send me a message and I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, so my first finished object that I'm going to share with you are my January Desert Vista Dye Works socks. So I've mentioned before that I'm doing the year-long knit-along that Desert Vista Dye Works does for their yarn. It is a sock knit-along. You have to knit one pair of socks from their yarn every month of the year. So these are for January. And this colorway is Rainbow Exterminate. And it came with the full skein of this and then a mini of the gray. And I just used the mini for the heels. So for these, I cast on 64 stitches and I started them on my Addi Flexi Flips, US 1 2.25 millimeter. And then I switched them, the first one, I don't know, it was maybe like right here. And I switched to my signature needles on the, it's like a fixed sock circular on 32-inch cable. And finished them that way just because I was on a bit of a time crunch to get these done. I finished them January 31st. Like, it was close. It was like 9 p.m. So, but they're done and I love them so much. So I did an afterthought heel for these. And for my afterthought heel, I love doing that heel, and I follow the tutorial on YouTube by Curvy Werby, and I'll try to remember to link that in the show notes. I really like the fit of an afterthought heel, and I love the ease of it. These were great vanilla knitting to take along to basketball games or knitting in the car, anything like that. And you don't have to worry about stopping and doing a heel. You can just knit straight through and then go back and cut in for your heel. So I am really pleased that I got these done in January, and I love them so much. I actually have not worn them. I think what I'm going to do, and if you know me, you know this is kind of crazy because I've mentioned that I can never do this before. I've probably even mentioned it on the podcast before. I think I'm going to set my Desert Vista Dye Works socks aside and do the box of socks knit along, enter them in that. And you don't have to set your socks aside for that knit along. I know she has specifically said that you do not have to do that, but I think I'm going to with my Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I'm going to set them aside 1 pair a month, then enter them in that knit along, and then come January 1st, I'm going to have 12 pairs of socks, brand spanking new, all stripy goodness waiting for me. I just think that sounds like so much fun to do with these socks. So that's the plan anyways, if I can hold off on wearing them. We'll see. So I've just got them in my container now. And then maybe after we move, I think I'll look for a nicer box because I'll have some more room, hopefully, in our house in Arizona when we find a house. We haven't found one yet. But to maybe have a nice box to put these in and set them on a shelf or something. We'll see. But that's kind of the plan for those, what I'm thinking. And let's see, other finished objects. I just have dishcloths. So I have, did I show you? Okay, I know this is a new one since the last time. So this pattern is called Slant Dishcloth. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. You're starting at one corner. I think I started this one down here. And you're increasing at the end of every row. And then if you wish, you can split, you know, into this color and begin a new color to finish it out. So that's what I've done for this. I have 3 done so far. I think this one you guys have already seen. And this one, did you guys see this one last time? I cannot even remember. But I did 2 like this. So the yarn that I used, I ordered some Knit Picks Dishy. I've never used it before, so I just ordered 2 just to kind of see what it feels like. And let's see. Do they have color names on here? Coffee, perfect, and Cabin is what these 2 are. The feel of the Dishy, it is softer than like your Sugar and Cream, which is what some of the other I've got over there, or your Hobby Lobby. It's even softer than Hobby Lobby. I don't know how it works, like how it lasts yet. That has yet to be determined. I'm going to put one of these that has, actually I'll probably put this one because it's both of those. I'm going to put this into rotation in my kitchen because I want to see how it's going to last. Is it as sturdy as the Sugar and Cream or Peaches and Cream or anything like that? Will it last as long? How does it wash up? I kind of want to see before I use these as Christmas gifts because that's the plan with these. If you follow Yarn Hoarder, she is doing it's just on Instagram. I don't think she has a Ravelry group for it. A dishcloth challenge. So that's kind of what these have been for. Although I haven't really posted, so I guess I'm not really participating. I'm just participating in spirit because I love the idea of doing a dishcloth a week and then having some for myself and some to gift at the end of the year. So that's kind of my thoughts with this. I love the feel of the Dishy. This one I used the Cabin on the bottom, and then I have some Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton on the top. And the needle size that I'm using is a US 6 4mm. And these are just some clover, right? Yes, clover bamboo knitting needles that I've had for ages and ages, so long. So that is the dishcloth update. That's my only other finished object. So last episode I showed you, it was a finished object last episode. The amulet shawl that I knit for Amber of Maker's Haven is a sample for her trunk show, but I don't believe it had been blocked. Her trunk show was this past weekend, and we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. But I wanted to pop in a few photos of it on Betty Sue back here. Before I took it to Amber, I took some pictures to make sure that I could get those inserted for you guys to see just how it looked blocked. It turned out absolutely gorgeous. And that's it for finished objects. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I kind of feel like I'm forgetting something that I finished, but I think that's it. I just have a lot of works in progress. So many works in progress. So let's jump right in. First one, it's already halfway out, so I'll go ahead and show you. And this bag is from Amy of Little Tailoress. Love this bag. And in here I have the shawl that I'm making for my sweet Auntie Katie that I talked about last episode. If you're new and maybe you missed last week or something, my great aunt was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, so I am making her a wrap to snuggle up in while she is getting her chemotherapy treatments. So I'm hoping she has a treatment next Wednesday, so a week from today. Yeah, this is probably not going to be done by then, is it? I was just getting ready to say I'm hoping to have this to her by her next treatment. That's probably not going to happen. But she'll get it and she'll be able to use it when she does get it. So I've made a good bit of progress. I have, let's see, 48 rows left. I think probably more than that. Probably 60 some rows left. 50 some or 60 some, I'm going to guess. I have 48 left wrote down here, but I think I'm going to need a little bit more than that. So here it is so far, and it's pretty big, and I know it is going to grow, but I really want it to be something she can wrap around herself. So here you can kind of see the lace that goes up both sides, and this is just a pattern that I have came up with. I couldn't really find anything that really spoke to me that it needed to be made for her, so I just kind of went through a couple of stitch dictionaries that I have and came up with this, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm gonna wrap it around just so we can maybe see. Yeah, I mean, it's close. That's the wrong side, sorry guys, but it's close. I would like it to maybe come down to a little bit further down to my waist when it's on me, and then I'll feel comfortable with how it'll fit on her. And like I said, it will grow. So, but I do want it, I just imagine her like completely being able to wrap up and cover a little bit of the front of herself. Not like a blanket, but kind of like a blanket. So I don't know, I'm really pleased with how it's coming out though. And the yarn that I'm using is Knit Picks Swish DK. And I think I have 3 or 4 more of this, so I've got plenty of the purple. This is Sugar Plum. And this is a 100% superwash merino DK weight yarn. And it's pretty soft. And then the gray is Dove Heather. So I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out, and I've been trying this week to really kind of focus more on this and get more work done on it, kind of make it a priority, because I feel like last week I kind of took a break with it. I worked on it some, but not like a constant, this was the only thing I worked on. So last week I just felt like I kind of, you know, you work on big projects, you just need a little bit of a break sometimes. So that's kind of where I was last week, trying to crunch it out, and I just needed a couple of days to breathe and work on other things. But now this week I'm kind of back to it and working on it a lot and hoping to get it done. I hope. So all right, next work in progress. Didn't even bring my February Desert Vista Dye Works socks in here. They're in my purse in there from where I had them at the salon this morning, so I'll have to go grab those. But this is in a bag from Bags She Built on Etsy. And these are Wyatt's next pair of socks. So the yarn that I'm using for this pair is Patton's Croy and Singin' the Blue Stripes. That is the ball. And I'm past the heel on these. I've decreased the gusset stitches. So this particular sock, this is just the first of the pair, but it will be done in no time at all. And I think it's adorable. I love the Patton's Crow yarn that stripes. So I just did a heel flap and gusset, slip stitch heel flap and gusset. That's my favorite to do, and it fits me great, it fits him great. And I cast on 56 stitches for his socks on a US 1 2.25 millimeter. So those will really be done in no time at all. Like I said, I'm really just concentrating on my aunt's wrap for the moment. But I think it was Monday, I sat down and worked on this and got through the heel flap, through the gusset, because I always like having just a plain vanilla sock that's at a really good spot that I can just pick up and take with me. And I knew I had a couple of appointments this week so that if I wanted to grab this, it would be ready to go. All right, next in my Craft House Magic bag, I love this bag. Scrappy, looks vintage. It is so pretty. So in here, I have a brand new project that you guys have never even seen before, and I am so excited about it. It's not very far into it, so there's not much to see yet, but I am making, I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna put the name on the screen. And I think I have a picture. Yes. It's in black and white, but it is just a basic tee. And look how, I mean, I love the lines on this, the clean lines. And then on the hem, how it has a split hem. I love this. So it is made using lace weight held double. So if you've been watching for a while, you know I went to the Anzula Trunk Show at the Salty Sheep in Swansboro, North Carolina, and I bought some lace weight with the intention of making something completely different. It was the Adrift cardigan, which I still love the look of. But when I swatched with this lace weight yarn for that, I just did not like the fabric that I got at all. I just wasn't crazy about it. So I knew that if I didn't like the fabric in a tiny swatch, I was not going to like a garment in it. So why take the time and make that and then decide I didn't like it? So I did some looking around and found this. So the yarn I'm using is Anzula Luxury Fibers Wash My Lace, and the colorway is Country Green. And that is their label. I think I said it's 100% superwash merino. But I've got both of my cakes in here, and 2 of these should be enough for the tee. I'm so excited to have this just nice, cozy, comfy t-shirt. And that's all I have so far. I've cast on, it is done. This is the, I think you start with the front. No, the back. So this is the back. So I've cast on the back, and I don't have very much done, but I'm loving the fabric that I'm getting with it. So much more than what I was getting with just the lace held on its own. So I'm super pleased with this. And I've got this on my Likey needles. And yes, I know it's not pronounced Likey. And this is US 8 5mm. And I'm just so excited to work on this more. I started this and I shouldn't have, but my friends Tanya and Karen are such bad influences. And I said I shouldn't be starting this. And they said do it. So I did it, and I got this far, and now I've just been trying to get my aunt's wrap done so I can have that big project that is so meaningful to me right now done, and then work on this. And I'm just, I don't know why I'm feeling so excited and inspired by throw the pattern. Garments like this with clean lines, and I don't know. But I have a feeling I'm going to love this, and if I love this, I'm going to want it in a bunch of different colors. So I have another skein of the Wash My Lace in a dark green. I don't know, I can't remember what the color name is, but I only bought 1 skein of it. So if I like this and the 2 skeins works out to be perfect, which it should, from what the pattern says, but If I like it, I may try to purchase another of the Anzula Wash My Lace in a different color than the one I have, and maybe kind of marl it together a bit. I don't know. Ideas. But I am just feeling so inspired by tees and just garments that I'm going to be able to wear in Arizona, I think is what's really inspiring me right now. I do want a couple like cardigans. Some I have the yarn for already. I'm looking at it right now, but I don't know. I'm feeling very excited and inspired by this project. All right, I ran and got my February Desert Vista Dye Work socks out of my purse. And I have these in the sweetest little bag. Look how cute this is. So this is a bag from Linda, who has the Missy from Minnesota Etsy shop. And she came down to Wilmington to the Noble Thread for Amber's trunk show on Saturday. And she brought us each a little bag like this with a candle and then one of these cute little, I believe they're called bento bags. Am I wrong? I don't know. But oh my gosh, it is so cute. Look how perfect that is. And then it snaps. I love it. Her stuff is so amazingly well made. So she brought us these little things, and that's what my Desert Vista Dye Work socks have been in since. So for February, I am using, don't have the tag in here, but the yarn is of course Desert Vista Dye Works in the Patsy colorway for Patsy Cline because I love her so much. So this is the Patsy colorway, and this is how far I am on sock number 1. I've marked right there, that's where my heel is gonna go. I'm doing these the same as I did January's, 64 stitches, US 1 2.25 millimeter needle. And I'm gonna do an afterthought heel with these, right there where I've marked. So I'm pleased with my progress so far on this, considering it's February 6th and I am already past the heel marking point on sock number 1. I think that's pretty good. And those are on my signature with the stiletto points. And that is it for works in progress. For regular works in progress, I am going to show you some scrappy things. And don't be fooled, those are not the only works in progress I have. I just tend to show you guys what I've actually touched the past 2 weeks since the last episode. So what you see is what I've worked on. I do have a couple sock designs that I am not ready to share just yet. One I teased about on Instagram, and it's right here, and I'm going to show you the the basket really quick that it's in. But yeah, I'm just not ready to share them just yet. But very soon they will be ready to share and ready to purchase on Ravelry. Actually, I'm going to wait and show you that basket in just a minute during stash enhancement, because it is a new item that I brought home with me from Wilmington. But I'm going to show you scrappy stuff. So I have my Bits and Bobs blanket that I am still absolutely in love with. Just pulling this out, I want to work on it so bad. It is so squishy. So I've started using the Black Sheep yarn shop, right? That's the name of it. Black Sheep Yarn is the name of it on Etsy. Just where you see this starting right there where the color is, that was what the flock all the way down. And then up here is Black Sheep Yarn. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's where I was last time. Right there, so I didn't get too much done. This past Sunday when I came home from Wilmington, I was exhausted and I worked on this a little bit. I can't remember, this might have been the only thing I actually got really anything done on Sunday, was just a little bit on this. And I had tried to start a log cabin blanket, and I tried to start a barn raising quilt. I had all these scrappy plans for Sunday, and I worked on this, and I frogged the barn raising quilt that I started, and I frogged the log cabin blanket that I started. But I think I'm going to start the log cabin one again just with a smaller needle size so the fabric's a bit tighter. I'm totally rambling about projects that I don't even have to show you right now. I'm so sorry. Okay, take it back in. This is the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. And I am holding it double with, I don't have a skein in here to show you, but the gray is Knit Picks Stroll in the Dove Heather colorway. And then the other one, and then all of the minis, this is Black Sheep yarn. It is from a Swap-a Swap that Black Sheep Yarn did in the Naughty Knitwits, I believe it was through the Naughty Knitwits raffle group that I purchased. So every Swap-a Swap that I've purchased, a few from other groups, and then the ones that Lisa has done in Crazy Sock Lady podcast group, I'm using those specifically for this blanket. So this is the next bunch that I am putting in. I'm really excited for Sunday to get to work on this again. It is just so squishy. If you've ever done brioche, that's what this feels like. It feels like brioche. Super squishy. It's going to be super comfy. So that is number one. Number two in my Bags by Awesome Granny bag, I have my corner to corner crochet, and I don't know that I've worked on this since the last time I showed it. Did I put a marker in? Yeah, I haven't done very much. So this is my crochet corner to corner blanket. And yeah, I've only done like one row since I showed it last. That's not really worth showing, is it? But there it is. And for this and for the Bits and Bobs, I've just been doing magic knot balls. That's the big one that I've got for this. And you can look up the magic knot balls. There are a ton of videos. If you just type in magic knot on YouTube, you should be able to find some videos showing you how to tie that. Got my Cozy Memories, and I don't think I've done very much on it. I think I've only put 2 squares. Did this purple square, and then this was Night Owl Fibers in the Shire colorway that I did Eric's birthday socks. That was a finished object, wasn't it? Did I have Eric's socks done last? I don't think I did. I didn't. That's a finished object. I'm going to put in a picture right here. This is a finished object. These are Eric's birthday socks. His birthday was the end of January. And I finished these socks out of Night Owl Fibers in the Shire colorway. The pattern is Payday Socks by Leah Oakley. I cannot believe that I forgot that those are a finished object. I don't think he's worn them yet, but they were way back there in the closet. So we're just going to insert a picture here. And I did these on US 1 2.25 millimeter needles, and I cast on 60 stitches for those, and they fit great. I love that pattern. It's a slip stitch design, and it just gives such a snug, wonderful fitting sock. I love the fit of my socks that I have that are in that pattern. But anyways, how did I forget that? But this is the mini that I had left. I put it in there. And then I've got a purple here, and I believe this is Camel City Dye Works. Cannot remember the colorway name, but that's the only 2 I've put in here so far. So I have one more Scrappy project to show you, but I will say that if you are doing Scrappy projects, or you want to start doing a Scrappy project and you're on Instagram, on Sundays, I've been doing Scrappy Sunday. That is where I set aside Sundays for Scrappy projects only. And just make sure, if you wish to join, you certainly don't have to. If you wish to join me in Scrappy Sunday, use the hashtag Scrappy Sunday, tag me in it. I would love to see your Scrappy projects. My Scrappy projects are bringing me so much joy right now, and knowing, because they were just falling, to the back of the line before I started setting Sundays aside. But now knowing that on Sunday I get to work on them, I am so excited to work on them, and they are just making me so happy. So I hope that you'll join in Scrappy Sunday if you are already working on Scrappy stuff or you want to start something. Yes, be sure to use the hashtag and tag me, because I really love seeing everything that everybody tags me in on Sundays. It's just so much fun getting ideas and inspired on how to use up those scraps of yarn that we all have left from projects. So the last Scrappy project is in my basket that's just a hot mess that I got at Rhinebeck. And these are Anzula minis that I got through the Row 1 Yarn monthly mini subscription. So, and I've got, this is from Fiber Insanity, DPN Cozy. And these are my Scrappy socks. These I'm working up on US 1 2.25 millimeter Knit Pro Zings. And I love these needles. I love these DPNs. They're probably my favorite DPNs. But that is Chloe here. That is where I'm at on those. So I've gotten a little bit more done since the last time you saw them. I think I was in the pink the last time I showed them. So I added the orange and the purple. And I'm just kind of going through and doing, I think there's like 20 rows or so. Yeah, 20 rows each collar. And I'm just going to use up as much of that I can of the minis that I have in here. So those are all of my Scrappy Sunday projects. And that is it for everything that I'm working on this week. So now I'm going to cover up with my cozy memories here, because it's to the size where I totally can cover up with it. A little bit anyways. Take a little drink. Yeah, I've got sweet tea today. I stopped on the way home after I got my hair done. I had to grab a few things from the grocery store, and I stopped and grabbed a sweet tea. So now it's time for stash enhancement, and you guys, I can't, there's just a lot. There's a lot. So the first thing I'm going to show you, I already had a project in it, but I'm not showing the project just yet. It is a new sock design that I'm working on with some yarn from Amy of Noble Character Crafts. I was hosting the Cable Cow with her, and she has the podcast and the Etsy shop by the same name. And I'm not ready to share the yarn or the project just yet. I'm going to hold off a little while on sharing that. You'll see why when I'm ready to share. You'll see why I held off. But this is what I've been holding that in. Look at this. This is a basket. I love this detail right here. A rope basket from Linda of Missy from Minnesota. When she came down to the Noble Thread, she gifted Amber and I these little bags, the other little bag I showed you, and a candle. And then she sells her bags in the Noble Thread in Wilmington. And she had brought 3 of these in to sell for the owner to, put up and sell in the shop. And Amber and I fell in love with them, and I could not leave without getting one. So I grabbed this one, and I love it. It's holding my sock project perfectly. And she does have these in her shop, and she's going to keep them listed in her shop. So definitely head over and check it out if you're looking for just a nice little yarn bowl. I'm just loving this. Ooh, almost dropped it. For sock projects that I'm not really taking on the go, just for something to have around the house. It's nice to just have it in a basket, and it's so pretty. That was one of my purchases while I was at the trunk show. And when you're around all that gorgeous yarn all day, you cannot leave without some. So this happened. Yeah. This right here happened, all of this. And Amber was so sweet, and she did gift me a couple of these for helping out at the trunk show, which she totally did not have to do. I was just so happy to get to go and to get to spend some time with her. But she gifted me a couple of these and the couple I bought. So this one I bought, the Noble Thread had this left from ones that she had sent them. And it is called Sand Dunes, and it's on her simple sock base, which is an 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. And I love this color. So Amber and I all weekend kept talking about how we want to do a fade. We were talking about how we watched Jacqueline from the Brooklyn Knit Folk, her What the Fade. And I have never wanted to do a fade. Never. Like, I think that everyone's look great. They're gorgeous. It's just not something I've been interested in doing until I saw Jacqueline's. And I just loved the simplicity of hers, how hers was in lighter shades. So I thought this was a good starting point for a What the Fade, because I think I would love it if it was in colors like this that I would wear. Toned down, very muted, subtle colors. So this is my starting point for that. And you can see it does have a little bit of color in there. But that's where I'm going to start for my What the Fade. Then this guy. This is I Loved You Then, I Love You Now. Look at that. So this sat there all day, and I picked it up I don't know how many times throughout the trunk show, and just was in love with the sparkle and with the colors. And I finally was like, if this is still here at the end of the day, I'm just buying it. And I did, because it was still there. And I don't know how it was still there, because it's so gorgeous. But it is not mine, and it will be socks, probably. The last few things that I have here are for shirts, because I'm on such a t-shirt knitting kick here. So these are Home Is Wherever I'm With You, which when Amber posted this colorway, I immediately wanted something out of it, because that's kind of our motto as a family in a way. Home is wherever I'm with you. We have a sign on our mantle that says that exact thing, because we've moved so much, and we've always said and instilled in our kids this as well, when any of us have a hard time with a move, that home is not a house, home is not a place. Home is wherever, we're all together. That's home. So this is going to be, after I'm done with the tee that I'm working on out of Anzola, this is going to be my next garment cast on. And I can't wait to wear it in Arizona. So Home Is Wherever I'm With You. And this is on her soft sock, a 75/25 superwash merino nylon blend. And I'm going to do the Imogen tee. I think that's how you say it. She had an Emmy tee as a sample at her trunk show. That's the child's version, and then the Imogen is the adult version of the tee. So that's what this is going to be. And then probably to make the same tee, if I like it, I have this. And this is how sweet it is. This colorway, but I used singles. This is one of the colors that was in the amulet shawl that I did. So I knew I loved this colorway. So I got these. And I did get a package from Molly of a Homespun House. I had ordered her invisibility cloak set. So it came with this gorgeous skein of yarn. There's her label. And it is on her plump merino fingering, which is an 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. And look how pretty that is. Wyatt has already tried to claim this, just because he's a Harry Potter fan and he likes the name. But I think it's gonna be for me. Sorry, Wyatt. And then it came with two minis, the Elder Wand, that's this one, and the Philosopher's Stone. That's that one. So there's the two minis that it came with. And then Molly sent me some other minis. I love these. I love these two together. I think that would be a gorgeous shawl. So she sent me these minis and then a cute little stitch marker. Oh, I'm opening the wrong side of the container. Okay. Cute little stitch marker that is a teapot. And if you've been watching for a while, you know I love the blue and white china. That's my favorite. So that was another thing I received. And then I also had Jennifer from Driftless Knitter on Instagram, and she has a Driftless Knitter podcast. She works for Knit Circus Yarns, which I'm totally jealous about. And there is their label. She sent me a couple goodies. So she sent some yarn for yarn support for a pattern design. And she sent me 2 things. And Knit Circus Yarns, if you don't follow them, they have other yarns speckled and different things. But what always gets me when I look at their Instagram are their gradients. They're gradient sock kits. So these are split and they'll be perfectly matching gradients. Look how gorgeous those are. So this one is As You Wish, and they have different size of the sets. This is a medium set. So it's 2 cakes of 150 grams, 150 yards, 75 grams total. So that's that one, and there's the info on it. And then this one is Peace, Love, and Understanding. So I haven't quite decided which one I'm going to use, because what I'm going to do is use one for a new design, a sock pattern design, and then the other one I will do as a giveaway with the pattern when it comes out. So I haven't quite decided. I'm leaning more towards doing the design out of this one just because these colors, oh, I just love those. But we'll see. I haven't quite decided. I've got a couple other designs to get finished up before I really work on this one. So I'll have to make up my mind. Last thing I'm going to show you guys today came from Linda of Lavender Mountain Yarns. And she sent in these cute drawstring bags with her shop name. There's a skein in here for me and a skein for you guys. So I'm going to put one of these in the prize drawer in the hutch for a future giveaway. And I think this will be the one that I keep for myself. So this is Lavender Mountain Yarns. And it's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend, 462 yards. And it's the Royal Collection is the name. And look at that gorgeous, yes, I think it's showing up purple. I hope that's not showing up too blue. It is a gorgeous shade of purple. And that's what the other one is as well. They are the same. So one will be put aside in the prize drawer for maybe the sock crazy cow, the next drawing we do or something. But I love that. Look how pretty that is. That is such a gorgeous shade of purple. And you guys know I love purple. And in each bag, Linda included some tea and a cute stitch marker. Oh no, with Lavender Mountain Yarns on it. Last thing I wanted to show you that I got in the mail is a bracelet that I got. And this is an oil diffuser bracelet. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know I've been using Young Living essential oils for just a little while, not a very long time. But I came across this bracelet on Etsy, and these beads right here, the black beads, are called lava beads. And you rub a couple of drops of the oil into the lava beads and it holds the scent for a while. So I've recently been using this, and this is from Luxie Daisy. So I did want to show you guys that if you're interested at all. It's very well made and I love the colors on it. They have a ton of different options. So definitely if you're into essential oils, you like essential oil jewelry, head over and check them out. They did have a coupon code listed on their Etsy in the shop info. I cannot remember what that section is called. When you first go to the Etsy shop, it has like shop announcements. Maybe that's it. They had a coupon code listed in there, and it's not one specifically for this podcast or the viewers or anything. It was just something they were offering, but I know it was coming up on ending, so it may already have ended. But definitely check it out if you're interested and see if it's still there. That's it for stash enhancement. And now just a little bit of chatter about what's going on. So I went to Wilmington this past weekend for Amber's trunk show. So I left Saturday morning to head down there about 7:15. I left and got some coffee and hit the road and met Amber down there. It was almost 10 when I got there. And the trunk show went so well. I was so excited for her, so proud of her. She is so talented and she's such a great friend. So we had a great time, and we had an Airbnb for the night that was not even maybe a block. Like, I don't even think it was a full block away from the yarn shop. So that was so much fun. And my friends Tanya and Karen came down and we had lunch with them and then finished up at the yarn shop, checked into our Airbnb. Then we walked around Wilmington for a little bit, got some pizza, and just kind of had a fun girls' night in, really. I mean, we had pizza, and then we went back to the Airbnb, and we had stopped and gotten some cupcakes from a little cupcake shop. So we had cupcakes and some wine, cookies, and we watched Mom's Night Out. Part of it, we were too tired, and we went to bed early. We didn't even finish the movie. But yeah, Saturday night we went to bed. I think we were in bed by like 10. I'm pretty sure. And then we got up, I think it was probably like 5:30 Sunday morning, and sat and knit for a while, and then went and had breakfast, walked up to a little restaurant and had breakfast, and then kind of hit the road and headed our separate ways. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get to see her again before we move to Arizona. I'm really, really hoping that I will. But yeah, that was my weekend. Eric came back from Arizona the weekend before this past weekend, and he leaves for Arizona this Sunday. So he's going to be doing 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, right up until we move. It's going to be kind of crazy. So he'll leave Sunday and be gone for 2 weeks, and then he'll be back home for 2 weeks. Yeah. But we did get dates for the movers. They will pack everything on May 30th, I believe. I didn't write it down, but I believe it's May 30th. And then load everything into the truck on May 31st. So pack and load days are May 30th and 31st, which means we will probably head out June 1st. So that's probably our official leaving day. Now, Eric will leave earlier than that. He'll leave, I think he said he was going to try to leave May 28th because he's driving with the dogs. That's just easier, less stress on the dogs, and then I can stay here and finish everything up. We've done it this way. In Florida, I stayed behind and he went ahead, and then when we moved from Arizona to here, he stayed behind and I kind of went ahead. So we've done this before. It's nothing new. But yeah, so he will leave probably May 28th, and then I will stay behind to finish everything up. The boys, I believe their last day is May 25th, so they'll be out of school that last week to kind of help out around the house if there's anything I need help with getting ready. And then it looks like June 1st, the boys and I will fly out to Arizona. So we'll see. Hopefully we will have a house ready and waiting on us. With Eric going back and forth, that will make house hunting a little bit easier. He'll be able to look for houses when he's out there. So we probably won't start that until May though, but he'll be out there to kind of look. But anyways, that's where we are with the move. That's kind of what's going on with it. I did have some questions about what events I'll be going to, if I'll be going to any around here before we move. Tentatively, yes, I'm hoping to. There is the Carolina Fiber Fest, and that's, I think I wrote that down, March 24th and 25th, I think are the 2 days for that. It's a Friday and a Saturday, I believe, is how it is. If I go to that, it'll be on March 25th. Not positive on that yet, but I think even if Eric's not home, I can take the kids and go and just go up that morning, be there for a little bit, and then come back. So yes, I would like to go to that, to the Carolina Fiber Fest. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina. So if you're going to be around the area, let me know, because I would love to meet any of you that are able to come to that. Then there is Maryland Sheep and Wool. That, yes, I've told Eric, like, you need to make sure you are home for that weekend. My friends Karen and Tanya are going up. So the plan is that we will all go up together on Friday, and then I think we'll come home Saturday after we've been at the festival. So we've got our tickets, our VIP tickets for Needles Up for Friday. So yes, the plan is to go to that one. And I think that's the only two that are happening around here before we move. So I think those will be the two that I go to. Rhinebeck this year, I'm not planning on going. Amber and I talked about it this weekend, and we had planned on going together again. But we've decided we're going to take this year off from going and go in 2019. So that is the plan. I will go in 2019. And the reason being, we both still, and Amber's kids are a little bit younger than mine, but we both still have young kids at home, you know, and it's harder. Mom guilt and wife guilt, like they're both real things. And with me just moving as well, that was kind of like making me a little anxious. And I know Eric and the boys will be perfectly fine. Eric had already said he was fine with going. It just, as a mom, made me a little anxious to think about us trying to adjust to a new place, the kids having, you know, adjusting to new schools and new routines. Yeah, so our plan is to maybe, I mean, at this point, do it every other year. That's what we're thinking. But we're already, as crazy as it sounds, like we've already been talking about plans for 2019 Rhinebeck. That's crazy. But when we were looking, we looked over the weekend at different places, and we were talking about if we were going to go this year to Rhinebeck, and so many places are sold out. It is insane, because we were like, okay, well, you know, we'd love to stay somewhere in the town of Rhinebeck or very near Rhinebeck. So many places are sold out. It blew our mind. But yes, that's the plan, that not to do Rhinebeck this year, but to do it next year. So, okay, I think that's pretty much it for today. I've talked long enough. The kids should actually be getting off the bus in about 5 minutes. So I will go ahead and say goodbye for today before the kiddos walk in the door, and I will see you guys again in a couple of weeks. Happy knitting. Bye.